And we're going to hop back into Sketch one more time, because there's just a few more things I want to show you. There's actually a lot more things I want to show you, but one more thing I probably should show you. So I'm going to do Sketch, create a new sketch. Instead of clicking on one of these already existing object work planes, I'm just going to click on the bottom here and just go, just create the sketch right on the bottom of the grid here. And let's go back into sketch mode. And you know what, let's keep it simple. I'm going to hit L for line. And if you go through here, you can sketch, and if you want to append again to this object, you can just click in here and you can use your line, and you've got an angle and you've got a measurement here. So if you click and stop, you can now click and go another direction here, and it can be, you know, this is 0 degrees, this is 180 degrees, and it's this many millimeters. And if you can also click this to kind of stop your sketch, but I want to stop, so I'm going to click here. Now if I click this spot and drag, it'll actually drag an arc. So you can kind of do a cool little arc here, so you can kind of go ahead and fill it automatically while you're clicking. And then we can sketch again. So I'll just take this straight back down. And if I want to make sure I'm exactly to the bottom of this point, I can select that, or not select it, hover, like it'll hover select it for me, and then I'm going to go to the right here, and it's going to make that blue line, and then I know when I click here and then click here, it'll go ahead and make that closed shape for me. Now at this point I can hit R, and that'll make a rectangle. If I want to take a chunk out of this, I can. This is my 2-point rectangle, so I can click here and here, and then I can hit T to go into trim, and go ahead and trim these back. Don't need these anymore, and now I've got a chunk taken out. And then of course I can scroll in here. Now I've hit F to go to fillet. It wants to do one of these fillets, which I don't want to do because it's not a body. Sorry, I want to modify a fillet. So I'm going to hit cancel. And I'm going to go up here to my sketch, and I'm going to do a sketch fillet. Now if I use this a lot, I'm going to go ahead and do this add to toolbar button here. And then we'll go in here and we'll fillet this edge. Oops, we need to click it first. And then fillet this one with like 5. And then we'll fillet this one with 5 as well. Hit enter. So we've got that shape going. Now if I want to put 2 holes into this thing, I can hit C for the circle, center diameter, and then click here. And there's the radius to kind of match that, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Let's say I want to do like 5 millimeters here. And that went ahead and gave me a dimension because I typed it in. Now if I hit C and then click over here and just make a circle, if I want to make this circle the exact same as that circle, all I got to do is go into Sketch, Dimension. You're going to see the shortcut for that is D. So with a dimension, I can go in here and say, okay, this circle, give me a dimension. And then because I have a dimension, if I just hit enter, it'll just give me the dimension of the circle that I punched in. However, if I double click this dimension, I can type in 5, hit enter, and that'll give me a dimension of 5, which is equal to that one. Or, you know, I could put a constraint in here and make these 2 circles constrained, but dimensions are cool too. And dimensions you can put anywhere. So if I want to change the length of this thing, I can, if I'm not in dimension mode, I can go to Sketch, Dimension, or hit D on my keyboard, and then I can click this line, go out, and then you know what, I want to change this from 80 to like 60. You can type that in, hit enter, and it'll make it 60. Now, it made it 60 in the wrong direction, which is what I didn't want to do. But this is available to you to go ahead and change these dimensions as well. Now, when I hide this box that we've been sketching on, you're going to notice it gave me 2 profiles here because as I was drawing this line across, it went ahead and projected this line that it thought we needed from the original mesh. So if I turn this back on, you're going to see it projected that fillet line. Didn't want to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and click this and hit delete. And it's gone. And now I just have 1 profile. Yeah, another thing you could do is right click this line and do break link, and now it's a line you can go in here and play with. So you can actually you know, you can delete this line, or you can trim it. You can hit T, and then you can trim this line, and you can use this profile for anything you need. But in this case, I'm just going to undo back through that and just go ahead and delete this line. And just for the heck of it, let's go ahead and put a circle in here. I'm going to hit L to go into line tool, and as I go across this line, you're going to see it's going to snap me when it turns in that little triangle. That's the midpoint of the line I'm hovering over. So if I click this and go straight down, that'll give me a kind of midline I can play with. And of course, I don't want this to affect my profile, so I'm going to click this and hit X, which is of course going into normal constraint, or I'm sorry, going into normal construction. And now what I can do is I can hit C to go into make a circle, and I can, if I hover and select, hover is selecting this for me, and then as I pull up, it's going to have that blue line. That means straight up from that center point is going to be where I can drop my circle. Let's go ahead and drop it here. Go ahead and pull a circle out, hit OK, and there I go. So now that I'm done with this sketch, I can hit stop sketch, and let's go ahead and bring our body back. So if we bring the box back and we pull this profile up, it's going to go ahead and do an operation on this box. Now, if I bring my cylinder back, that's not in the way. You might see this later, or as you're working, you're going to notice this. If you have another object down below this, in fact, let's make one. Let's go to create a box, and we'll put it right on this working plane here. And I'm going to click and drag here, and then go up. And I'm going to say this is a new body. And I'm going to hit M for move, and I'm going to move this up out of the way here. So now I've got a new box just kind of sitting there. If I grab this profile here and I go, hey, you know what? I want to do a push-pull. I'm going to pull this up, and I want to do a join. So I'm going to do... Actually, you know what? If I want to just cut that shape out, that's fine. However, as soon as I keep pulling this up and it goes into this body, any bodies that are showing, even if they're separate, which in this case they are, it's going to want to cut through everything. So if you don't want to cut through a body, just go over here and turn that body off, and then it'll only cut through what's visible on the screen. But in this case, I want to do a join, and I want to do an extents instead of a distance. So I want to go to this top part here, click OK, and now I've got this little piece hanging out. And if I want to fillet these now, I can hit F, and let's go ahead and do a fillet on this back one. So we want to soften this corner out. That's another thing too. You could fillet this in the sketch, or you can make the body and fillet it later. I don't know if one gives you more problems than the other, but this seems to work okay. I'm going to hit F, and I'm going to go ahead and go around this whole top part here and see if I can't fillet this thing. I think it was a fillet of 1. I think it was a fillet of 2. If I don't know, I can just go in here, zoom in on this fillet here, and I can go, hey, you know what? Edit feature, and it's going to go, okay, you want to edit the fillet that you put on here that was 2 millimeters. Okay, 2 millimeters, that's all I needed to know. Now I can click on this one, go edit feature. And it's like, I didn't want to do 1, I wanted to do 2, do that too, okay, and now they match up. So you can always go back and edit a feature visually on here or through your history, and then you can kind of just tell what you were doing as you were doing it.